I got the phone turned off, so no distractions. I'm ready now. I can see.
The same thing.
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
good day. What's going on? I got Gina Muhammad, y'all know. And I got Dr. Tammy McCotter, right? That's how you say it?
Yes.
Oh, I said it right. Well, I'm the host of I'm the Data podcast. My co-host, Gina Muhammad, she's going to introduce herself.
Oh, okay. I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. And I am so happy to be sharing this space today with Dr. Tammy and my co-host here, Nathaniel Evans. And that's all I have to say. I'm ready to get started.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
subject, what is the
hmm
gift of life? I
What
am
is the
looking
different
forward
word?
to really discussing this. So, I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert.
And this podcast is about leadership and redemption. And Tammy found us. We didn't find Tammy. She found us, right?
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. She
Absolutely.
found us, right? We was out there in the orbits and she grabbed us, right? So,
It's an
so
honor to be here amongst
yeah,
great
so
people.
introduce yourself, Tammy, man, and we can just get on and start doing what we do.
Awesome. It is an awesome honor to be here. And like Mr. Evans said, I watched the broadcast with you, Dr. Well, I was going to say Dr. Muhammad, but I watched the broadcast with you, Miss Muhammad, and Mr. Evans and another young lady. And it was so inspiring because I love, 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 love anything that has to do with inspiring people.
But she
Because
is a doctor.
nobody, I didn't
She
hear
is a
you.
doctor. She is a doctor. Don't let her fool you.
That's what I didn't want to be disrespectful. You know, some people say, "Oh no, I'm not a doctor," but that's what I was gonna say, Dr. Muhammad. I
Well,
love anything when it comes to inspiring people because nobody's worth throwing away.
Mm.
Everybody is valued, whether what state of life they're found in. So when I saw your broadcast, and it was like I said, it was you, Dr. Muhammad, it was you, Mr. Evans, and it was another young lady. I said, "Ooh," and I started typing.
Keisha Woods. It might have been Keisha Woods. The
yes,
I
empowerment coach
believe
for
it
yes,
was
women.
Miss Woods.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So here we are.
Here we are, man. Here we are.
And you know
Yeah,
what?
so
I just want to say this. I feel so blessed. And I know that this is a blessing. And when I saw that, I said, wow, because I know that sometimes things will come into our lives, people come into our lives to validate certain things and to confirm certain things. And so, Dr. Tammy, you being with us today is a confirmation to me that we are on the right path. So
Absolutely.
I
yeah,
Absolutely.
so Dr.
Absolutely.
Tammy has a lot of gifts, and she's been sharing her gifts in a lot of, interesting places. I wouldn't say dark places, I would say interesting places because anywhere where life is at is a thing of interest, and it's a thing of purpose. She's actually a pioneer within the Department of Corrections. Where you at now?
I'm in Anne Arundel County detention facilities now, but I've been in corrections because detention falls under corrections. So I've
Yeah.
been in that field now for almost 27 and a half years.
mm,
So I've seen the best of the best and the worst of the worst. I've seen people at their lowest estate. I've seen people that most people have thrown away and said
Mm.
they're no good, there's no use for them. I've seen the invisible, but I've also
mm.
seen hope. I've also seen life. I've also seen people be rebirthed and go forth and do great things and come back and get somebody else. They didn't leave them. They went back and they got them.
Oh,
So
yes.
excited. I really am.
Yes. Yes, see, that is what when I went to your LinkedIn page and I was watching some of your videos and you were talking about how, you know, the second time around. That second time around. And sometimes, just like you said, it's not just the second time. Sometimes it's the third, fourth, fifth,
Yep.
sixth, seventh time around. But what is important is getting up, no
Yeah.
matter what it is thrown. And that's what I just loved about your. I'm getting chills
Hmm.
thinking about what you were
Yeah,
saying.
that's true because I had an intensive talk with Tammy, and we actually spoke about redemption. Redemption was basically a major part of our conversation. And it's because that when we have, or we perceive that we have certain power, we actually look to basically condemn other people and actually
Mhm.
to shift people out of the space where they can actually grow and be prosperous in their lives, right? And it's a gift to know that, you know, we are here to increase one another. We are here
Yeah.
to love each other, right? And that love only really counts in a lot of times in the darkest hours of people's lives, right? People
Yeah.
come and love you when you got all these gifts or when you got all this money or you got all these materialisms. But in your darkest hours, like who is there to love you? Who's there to embrace you? Who's there to give you that word of encouragement, that motivation? And this is what Dr. Tammy does.
You know, I
She's
used to
that
tell
motivator.
people,
She's that light.
I used to
Yeah.
tell people that prison is not always a bad thing. And I think I said this to you the other day, Mr. Evans. Prison is not always a bad thing because sometimes someone going to prison saved their life. Because if they had stayed out on the street, they would have gotten killed, died in whatever it was they were in, or never discovered the gift that's in them.
Mm,
I've seen people that have come to prison and couldn't put an I before an E except after C and have written books because that incarceration made them sit still enough to hear the voice of God, whether they acknowledged it in their life or not, and allow that gift to flow through them. I've seen
mm,
people that came to prison that was incarcerated, that got out, and now, like you, Mr. Evans, going back and they're helping people with their legal and showing them the way. But before they went in there, they didn't know anything about the legal system. But when they came out, they had the wisdom and the fortitude to go forth and learn more so that they could help somebody else not have to go through what they went through. I've seen people come out and they're multimillionaires because they got a dream. It was literally that, a dream behind prison walls that carried them through their sentence, that they believed that they could be, do, and have. And now they're doing, they're being, and they have. So prison is not always a bad thing. It
Yeah, we
really
Yes.
did
is.
speak about that. We spoke about that, and I was
Yeah.
saying that I actually agree with that. You know, I've been incarcerated. I spoke to many individuals. I came out. I went into prisons. I spoke to many individuals on that platform as well. And many people would say that, yo, if I wasn't in prison, I probably wouldn't be alive. You know, a lot of my friends, you know, they're not here anymore. You know, a lot of my friends got 100 years. You know, only got 10 years. Right? You'd be like, only got 10 years, right? Right? Because they start to see the light of their lives, right? And I only said that way I looked at it was that it's a humanity that's connected to the prison system that corrupts it and that makes it bad. You know what I'm saying? It's the humanity part of it. The humanity was about love, you know, and motivation, you know, and change. Then the prison system will actually fulfill its purpose and create the leaders in the land that's supposed to be creating the land and allow people to move on higher levels and higher plateaus. But because humanity comes in and says, I'm above you, I'm greater than you,
Yeah.
I have a house to go to, I got women,
Right.
you locked into a cell, you know, and things of that nature. It robs people of gifts that they can actually experience within this environment to move forward to preserve not only themselves, but their friends, their family, their loved ones, and on the ultimate level, their communities and societies that they're going to connect with.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
You too are talking about the actual prison system, and I was thinking that sometimes we as individuals live in a prison that is our own making. It may not be, the physical thing where we go to jail or whatever, but sometimes we live in a prison that we have formed for ourselves, and the walls we live within a confinement that limits us, but sometimes that is necessary in order, just as Dr. Tammy was saying, that allows us to find our purpose. Just as a lot of people that are in the physical walls of prison may not have found their purpose otherwise, sometimes the circumstances that we allow into our lives it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise because it forces us to be still. It will force us to be still and hear that voice of God.
Dr.
Mm.
You are so correct, because the greatest prison you could ever be in is in your mind. That is the strongest. If people could ever understand anything, there is nothing no stronger than a made up mind. You can be behind prison walls and make up your mind that you're going to do, be, and have, and everything in your circumstances, your circumference tell you you will not. But if your mind, the strongest weapon that God gave you, not your hands, not your physical body, but your mind, your wills it to be so, it will be. And that's
Yes,
where most people are at in their lives. They're in prison in their minds because somebody, something, or some situation told them they never will, you're not good enough, you can never have, you will never be, and they believed it.
yes,
They believed it.
yes,
And that's where we have to get in there. When somebody tells someone that they're no good, I said this and I say it all the time. The two richest places on earth is the prison and the graveyard. All of that
mm,
untapped talent. But if you got
Mm.
one person that will walk those hallways and say, "Good morning, young man, how you doing?" You don't even understand how that'll change somebody's life, because most of them feel that they're not seen. But that's
yes,
just not behind prison walls. That's in the streets.
yes.
Look at what our young people are doing. Out of sight, out of mind. We'll talk about them when they're doing something wrong, but when do we encourage them when they're doing something right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Dr. Tammy, you just said, use my life as an example, because when I was doing all kind of dirt, when I was out there abusing drugs and alcohol and allowing myself to be beat on and misused and abused, no one ever said to me, "You are worthy of more than this." It was only when I decided to change my and pull up on, as you said, that will, that power that's within all of us that we can activate at any time if we decide that this is what we want. Like you said, that mind. My mother would say that there is nothing that will
Nothing.
beat a made up mind. She would
Yes.
say that all the time. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And as I got older, I
Yeah.
came to really understand what she was saying. Nothing will beat a made up mind. And when I decided to change, that's when everybody started looking at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it's more
Yes.
mystical. I think it's more mystical because once we get trapped into something and once people see that we're trapped into something, they make up their minds that that's who we are and that's what we're going to become, and we're never going to come out of that. So it's a thing of amazement when you shift and you come out of spaces that actually been a stronghold not only in your mind but in the minds of others, right? When you break that phenomenal curse, right, and you challenge who you are, challenge who you are becoming, right, it gives another life substance to who you are. And the people around you, they're amazed, right? Because the reason why they won't come to you and say, yo, you're great and you're powerful, because they might not see themselves as being great and powerful. So they
Absolutely.
can't give you what they don't have.
That is so true. That is so true, Mr. Evans. I'm telling you, I was sitting here when both of you were talking, And I was thinking about this little story. It's not really a story, but I'm gonna call it a story. You know how some kids grew up and their mother said, cover your forehead because your forehead is big. And this child has walked around all of their life, never exposing their face because they believe that their forehead is big. When in
Mhm.
essence, they are absolutely beautiful if they pull that hair back and discover the beautifulness that God created them to be. And that's what words do sometimes. People don't understand the power of words, and people will trap you with a word. They will trap you with their words. They used to say sticks and stones would break my bones, but words would never hurt me. My mother always told me that's the biggest lie that's ever been told. Because they will break your bones, but that bruise will heal. But sometimes words will carry you to your grave because
Yes.
it gives you wounds that other people don't see. It'll traumatize you for life because it becomes a secret. You don't want anybody to know that that's how you feel. So you never express those words that were spoken over you. You just walk it out. You just live it. So you live in a parameter or a space that you can't go forward because you still hear what's being said over you in the past. You won't look to the left or the right because you're scared that if you do, you're not going to please somebody, because
Ooh.
people put parameters on us and we fall into what they believe that we can do and we never go any farther. But I'm a firm believer, and I'm a firm believer. Coming up, I was dyslexic, and every now and then you will hear it because I almost stutter when it comes to S's and T's. I've always been an adamant learner because my mother was someone that said, if you couldn't, you going to. That's exactly how she would say, you going to. Ain't no such thing as can't, baby. That's how she would say it. So I always been an adamant learner, and I never wanted anybody to know I had dyslexia because it wasn't diagnosed in me when I was little.
Mhm.
Because back then they didn't see stuff like that. It was when I was older that a lady said, read that for me. Okay, we're going to explore this because I believe you're dyslexic. But I always believed if somebody told me I couldn't, I would say, but what if I can? And they thought that attitude was a defiant attitude. No, it was what my mother put in me. And she always told me, you can. I grew up on food stamps. I grew up on welfare. My mother was a single parent. We grew up in the projects. I know what it is to be homeless. I know what it is to be a single parent. I know what it is to lose a sister to domestic violence. I know what it is to watch a mother be beat for no reason. So don't tell me because you see doctor on the front of my name what I cannot do. I literally had people, and this is a God knows honest truth. My doctorate, I actually have two that were bestowed upon me because of the work that I done in corrections and the work that I done in the community. I literally had people that said, you can't use doctor on your name because it's not academic. I said to one
Oh.
I said this to one lady when she said it, and it literally made her mad. I said, I'll take it off. I don't mind because a title doesn't make me. But what can you do about it? Absolutely nothing. And she looked at me, and this is what she said. She said, what do you mean? I said to her, and I smiled. I said, ma'am, no disrespect. But whether you call me Tammy, Kuma Matata, Makata, or Doctor, you cannot change the work that I've done, and neither can you stop where I'm going.
Oh,
Because
beautiful.
your destiny and my destiny, your path and my path is two different paths. And although you don't think I deserve the path that I'm on, it's mine anyway. What
Mm.
can you do about it?
That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. And, because that is knowing who you are. I always say that that is the really beginning of our power is when we know and really understand who we are and how powerful we are as
Yes.
individuals. See, I'm not walking the same my mission and my purpose for being here may not take me down the same roads that Dr. Tammy's has taken her, but both of us are light givers, light livers, light for other people to understand that where we have been and where God has helped us to come up from, that same power is
Mm-hmm.
within all of us. All of us.
Absolutely.
God, another thing my mom would always say is God has no respecter of persons. What
None.
he has done for me, he will do for you.
Yes. Absolutely. That's why I reached out to Mr. Evans because of the conversation all of you were having. And then to hear his testimony, people, can I talk from a correctional side?
Go ahead.
I think I will anyway. When it comes to incarcerated people, me and Mr. Evans, we had this conversation. When it comes to incarcerated people, and people don't think that people that wear the uniform, that are not incarcerated, that are just as incarcerated as the ones that are incarcerated, because we're there just as much. When you have people that wear the uniform that come in there and cannot see past the uniform, that's when you see abuse. You can't see past a person's sentence. You can't see that people are redeemable. You can't see that people have something to offer, although they made a mistake or they chose to do what they did when they got there.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can consider yourself that I could go to that stop sign and make a mistake and my brakes give out and run that stop sign, and I could hit a car and that person could die. Did I intentionally kill that person? Absolutely not. But the person died and I could get manslaughter. And I could be behind the same walls that the person that I am now protecting and serve, because that's what my job is behind the walls, to protect and serve the inner as well as the outer customers, that I consider myself and I treat them accordingly because they're still human, even though they don't have on the same uniform that I have on. Are some of the crimes horrific? Absolutely. Are some of the things that some of them do they cause you for one? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'm not their judge and jury to treat them accordingly. And that's what we miss sometimes behind the wall. And the truth of the matter is, we miss that on the outside as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because Christ said it the best, man. He said, "He without sin cast the first stone." Right? He said it the best,
Absolutely.
right? And we use that model, for our lives, whether it may be within the prison systems or within society or even platforms that we're on. We will understand that we use that model, that same reality will come back to us in grace.
You
So
have
when we
Yes.
to hear
bestow grace
hurting
on
people.
others, yeah, the Most High will give grace to us when we need it. Because right now, you may feel that you are in your superpower mode. You might be 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, and you got it going on, right? So you don't need no grace right now because everything you feel is in your life has been given to you. But what happens when you get 65 or 70 or 80 years old, right? Won't you need that grace? When you stand at the corner, you got your cane and you scared to cross the street, right? You want somebody to grab you by the arm and say, "Come on, miss, let me help you across this street," right? Let me make sure that you're safe, right? If you fall, you want people to come to your aid and say, "Call the ambulance," and things of that nature. Or do you want people to walk over you, right? Like you walked over other people in your life and walk over you and keep moving, right? So you need to store up this grace for your life while you in a power or position to do so. So when the Most High put you in places where you're supposed to bestow life, love, and liberty, make sure you do that because the time going to come when you're going to need that same life, love, and liberty actually be bestowed upon you.
Yeah.
Nathaniel, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking just, and I think this quite often about judging other people and passing my opinion of where someone should be or why they're not this or why they're not that. And the one thing that I always try to say to myself, there but by the grace of God go I.
Yes.
There but by his grace go I. I could be right there in that same position. So what makes me think that I am so much better than this person or that person? Because we never know why God is allowing someone to go through a certain thing. That he may be that person may be going through that or living that in order to elevate them. They may be in a certain position because once they come through that, God has something great for them to
Absolutely.
do with that experience. So you're right, we judge other people so we're so cavalier about judging other people, and we don't know, I don't know the history. Sometimes you see somebody out on the street, they're homeless, or they may be drug addicts, so you don't know that person's story. You don't
True.
know,
Yeah,
and
you don't know.
you don't
That's true.
know.
I was
You
talking to,
know.
I did a radio broadcast yesterday with Dr. Doreen out of Cleveland, Ohio. And she told this story about this young lady that was on welfare and her children were sleeping on the floor. And the welfare officer came in to take her children. And the young lady said to her, she said, you can take my children, but you're destroying my family. She said, how will my children ever learn that they can make it in a bad situation if you're saying that where they're at right now is where they're at right now is that they don't deserve to be here. She said, how would they ever learn that they can press past bad and not always expect somebody to give them something, always expect somebody to hand them out something and cause them to become entitled. She said, yeah, we're in a bad situation, but my kids see me get up every day and go to work. They see that I'm making it and I'm feeding them. It may not be the top roast, but they're getting it. And they see me fighting for them. They see me doing everything that I can do. So you call me a bad parent? And I think sometimes we look through colored lenses. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we need to reach out and help. That's the part that's missing.
Yeah,
People don't
instead of
understand.
buying the beds, instead of
Absolutely.
they got this is a multi-billion-dollar system that actually can actually go out there and buy those beds for those children and bring those beds into the household.
What
Instead
about if
of extracting those children out the household for beds.
what about if you in the store and you see this young parent and she cussing that baby out? Come on here. Hurry up and walk. You need to keep up. How many people don't even answer? How many people said, look, she over there cussing that baby out. She ought to be, mm. Or how many people will go over to that young mother and say, sweetheart, do you mind if I buy that baby something? Hey, sweetie, how you doing? Because that young mother is frustrated. Because she don't know how to parent because she wasn't parented. Most
Oh,
people won't do that. They'll stand back and they'll judge. How was that
yes,
helping the problem?
yes.
Or you'll see that young mother at the cashier, and she's counting pennies, and she'll say, "Put that back. This is what I got." And you got enough money to get yours and hers. How many people don't even answer or say, "You know what, baby? I'll get that. Don't even worry about it. Take your money back because you got surplus on that day. You may not have had it yesterday, but you got it on that day." To help that
Yes,
young mother, because that may be the only meal that that child gets on that day,
yes,
or that may be
yes,
the only bag of Pampers on that day. How many
yes,
people do that? instead of standing back like, Lord, I wish she hurry up. She knows she could have went and got some money to pay for that. When all she
Yes.
got is change. Because she went and picked it up on her way to the store. That's what we
Dr.
need.
Tammy, you talking about me.
That's
You
what we
I
need.
because see, that was me at one time. And
That was
so
me too.
yes.
That's what we need to change society. That's what we need to change in our neighborhood. Because one act of kindness would change a generation. It'll put that seed, as we all said earlier, in somebody through one act of kindness that somebody sees me and they understand. That's all we
Mercy
Yes.
and compassion. Mercy and compassion.
need.
You know,
Uh,
because we go to church, you know, we go to the mosque, right? We practice all these rich religious, you know, connotations, right? And all those things, when you hear the pastor speaking, he's speaking about mercy, compassion, love. And when you come out of these spaces, you don't have the mercy, the compassion, and the love that the Most High places in front of you. He places people in front of you. He places situations in front of you. He want to see what you're going to do, right?
Yes.
Because I done gave you $100,000, right? And I want to see if you're going to treat this angel that I put in front of you, that you view as a person, but I view as an angel. Because I created this being just like I created you. I'll
Yeah.
put this person in front of you, and I'm gonna see how you're gonna treat this person with this $100,000 I just gave you.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
want to see if you're going to abuse these
yes.
people. You know, you got people like the R. Kellys and the Maxwells and stuff like that harm people when they have money. And look what's happening to their lives now. Their lives are being eradicated. They're being
Mhm.
destroyed. They're being in places that they don't want to be in, but they had the blessings to bless others, but instead they rob others of humanity that the Most High has provided to all of us. And I think that we have to get out of our own way to realize that whatever gift that you have, whatever path that you're on, whatever purpose that you see, has been given to you by the Most High.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that is the what is the gift of life? What is the gift of life? What is it? What is it? And I was
It's
thinking about
you.
this. Yes, what is and it's a gift. When you talk about a gift, that's something that is freely given. You know, somebody give you a gift, it's freely given. We have been freely given this gift called life. Freely given it, you know. And what are we doing with it? You know, do we see ourselves as this gift just to elevate ourselves, just to be able to get for me, for myself? Or do I see it as an extension of the Most High? I'm an extension of the Most High. He gives us love, He's given this gift of life. Can I not pass it on? Can I not pass this gift on? Can I not pass the love on? Can I not strive to elevate others with this gift that I have been given? And I've been wanting to acknowledge Jeffrey Negron. I hope I'm pronouncing his
Yeah,
name correct. He says he loves this, and I love that you love this,
Yes.
Jeffrey. And thank you for being here with us. And Latanya Coles, thank you for
Yes.
being here, and not only just being here but giving us encouragement, because um, we love to hear when we are helping someone else to just elevate on a higher vibrational level. So thank you for being here.
You
that's
know,
right.
you brought up, and I was gonna do the same thing. The topic, what is the gift of life? And I love this topic because so many times we put value on the things that we can buy, but we've been freely given so many gifts that we never acknowledge. And the things that we can buy are temporal. But the gifts that God has given us, if we would tap into them, we would be some of the most richest individuals because that's the way He designed it to be. He's given us freely love. He's given us freely peace. He's given us freely joy. He's given us, and I gotta stay on that peace unspeakable. He's given us that joy and full of glory. He's given us wisdom. And if you don't think you have it, he said, ask for it. And a lot of times we never, ever, ever, and there's so much more he's given us that we never tap into. And they're on the inside of us. We carry them with us. The gift of strength, he gave it to us. You wonder why you see people that go through extraordinary things and they don't break, because he gave them the gift of peace. He gave them the gift of strength. And we never tap into them. That's our life. The gift that God gave us. And he gave them to everybody.
On different levels. On different levels.
He
We
gave them
all,
to us all. It only gets stronger when you use it. But if you never acknowledge it, you don't know that you have it. But when you use it, it's strengthened.
Yeah, because you gotta look at people like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. I was in a mosque the other day, and they had a photo of Martin Luther King, and I was ecstatic behind that to see that this mosque had a picture of Martin Luther King in there, and not just Malcolm X, right? And because we acknowledging the leaders that actually bestow life and love into this world, not because they have a different ideology or they stood on different principles, but because they were a life force and a life source just like us. And they chose to use their lives in a way to increase and to uplift humanity and not just themselves. Right?
And that is it. When Dr. Tammy was saying, see, this has been given. And when we realize that this has been given to all of us, that we all have it. And she was talking earlier about our mind.
Mm-hmm.
See, once we tap into the power of our mind, what we have been given in our mind is in us. It's not, we always looking for things. We want things. Nathaniel and I talk about this all the time, about material things, how we're always looking for material things. When we have a gold mine, we have diamonds and rubies and all kind of precious gems in our mind. Everything that we want, everything that we truly desire, we can achieve in our mind. And what you're talking about, these leaders, and I want to say this, and then I'll be quiet, because I said I was going to listen today, but Lord have mercy, I'm doing a lot of talking. Okay, Nathaniel, you were saying that about leaders being in the mosque and seeing a picture. I am so happy whenever I see us get rid of these labels, these religious labels, these labels that we put on each other that keep us divided. When divided, we will be conquered. But when we find unity in our shared values, then there is no more powerful adversary against the hatred and the animosity that we see in the world, when we can all come together in love rather than focusing on all these labels that divide us. Then we can achieve what we will. We can achieve that. And something else you were talking about earlier about us, I always say, I'm on my prayer rug all the time. I pray, I do my 5 obligatory prayers, and I pray all in between that. But what would it look like for me to be doing all that praying and then go out and not see the humanity in other people?
That's
What good
right.
would my prayers be?
That's right.
I kick somebody, I get up off my prayer rug and then kick somebody down. Now, what good did my prayers do?
That's right.
Yeah, because they're there to basically create that streamlined connection to your power and to keep you in alignment, right? So while you praying, the Most High can come kick you right? So, so you know what I mean. So
You know,
it's other people that's praying their lives. You know, you might not see them on the prayer roll, you might not see them on their knees, but they might be praying their mind what they going through. You know, they might be asking for hope, or they might be asking for. I remember one day, and I'm just going a brief story. I was on the train, and I sat down the train, and there was a woman that was already sitting there, and I sat down next to her, and I looked at her, and I said, "Good day, sis. How you doing?" And she said, thank God, thank God. I thought I was alone in the universe. I thought no one was here for me in the world. And I wasn't, like, I was invisible, because she had just went through a hardship, but she didn't tell me what the hardship was, but it was snatching the life out of her. And just by me saying, good day to you, sister,
that's right.
she was able to have faith again in humanity and into life, because she might have found a space where I don't want to live no more. I got to move forward.
That's
You know,
exactly.
no one's acknowledging me on this train, and I acknowledged her. And by me acknowledging her, it wasn't because she was pretty, or it was just that I sat next to her and I felt her energy, and I say, "Good day," right?
That's
And
right.
that changed our whole perception on life. You know, giving out these gifts that's free, the same way we ask for them or we need them from the Most High, is the same way you have to give them out, right? You just want
That
to
is
keep
so true.
on taking in all these gifts, all these different substances, all these different materialisms, and allow them to consume you, because you're not releasing them. So if you're not releasing them, they're gonna consume you. You're gonna think you're this high-powered person. You're gonna think that you're supposed to have all this and all that, and that's gonna consume who you really are, and it's gonna stop you from getting to the threshold of your ultimate being. Is actually being in alignment with your power, with your superpower, to connect to the superpower that actually created you. If this is not your purpose, you know what I'm saying, your gift of life is going to get robbed away from you. You're gonna think you're gonna find in diamonds, rubies, and pearls and gold. And to be honest, all those things that you seek, the diamond, the ruby, the gold, everything, it's actually inside you. It
Absolutely.
actually, it actually, it's a part
Absolutely.
of your whole biological,
Absolutely.
metaphysical makeup.
You know, so many people, so many people don't really understand this one concept, that you are gifted. Dr. Muhammad, when you was talking about prayer, I've always learned that prayer isn't for the next person. Prayer is for you. Because when you enter in, it changes you. And the light that is on you, because you submitted yourself to pray, that's how you're able to change others. That's what gives you the energy, the fuel to go forth and change others. So when you was talking about being somebody praying, I think it was Mr. Evans, when he was talking about somebody praying, they get up and they kick somebody.
That was Gene. Yeah.
That was a form of prayer. It wasn't real prayer. Because when you truly pray and you submit yourself to prayer, that's where you find your gifts. That's where you find the strength to do whatever it is you have to do to be whoever it is you were called to be. And a lot of times people don't understand that prayer is not whatever they think it is. Sometimes prayer is sitting there with your mouth closed in a place of listening. That's prayer. Sometimes prayer is moving outside of who you are and touching somebody else's life. That's prayer. And most people don't understand that. We go in to come out to be able to give. That's real prayer. And when we get out of whatever it is in our mind, that picture that we've been given of prayer, that's when we can change people. Because we ourselves would have been changed. I couldn't love anybody till I learned how to love me. I couldn't give
Oh,
to
yes.
anybody until I learned how to give to me. I couldn't tell somebody else that they could make it and it not be a form or just words, people wonder why I can say I love you and there's nothing you can do about it at the end of my videos, because that's true. Because I love me. So when I speak in those videos in the morning time, I have people inboxing me and say, oh my God, I felt that. I know, because I feel it. I can give you what's authentically me because it had to be in me first before I could give it to you. And we got people walking around every day thinking that they're empty vessels and they have nothing to offer. But the truth of the matter is, that's not true. The thing that they're fought at the most is where their gift is. I used to walk through the prisons, through the walls, and I would see these big time drug dealers. And they would be in there for years and years. If they had discovered their gift, not giving drugs or making drugs and scamming people, they had a gift and a talent of how to orchestrate money, how to set up businesses, because a drug dealer is a businessman
Yes.
on the street with a gift that he does not discover. What about Les Brown, who was told that he was uneducatable? What if he had closed his mouth and never spoke? That was his gift, and that's what he was fought at. We don't discover our gifts. We don't know how to discover our gifts. And the thing that people are fought at the most is usually where their gift is. But it's never developed.
Yes. That is so true. And that's why I have devoted my life. And I know that this life, this gift of life that I have been given, it is so that I can say that wherever we are in life, wherever we may be in life at this moment, at this present moment, because a gift of life is a present, you know, at this present moment, we have the ability to decide, is this where I want to be? Is this where I am destined to be? Or am I destined for more than this? And when you were saying, see, I'm a vessel, and I know that. And
Yes.
I'm so happy to just be a vessel. I am just so happy to be a vessel, to be given the knowledge that it's not me. It's really not me. I would have nothing to say unless I was given it by my creator. And it was freely given. I just had to recognize it and honor it. And when you were saying about prayer and love, see, all of these are action words.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
love is an action word. And I'm with you. I didn't have anything really to say to anyone else about love that meant anything until I realized that it had to start with me. It starts with me. It starts with self-love. And once I understood that and started practicing self-love, I can say, I love you, and I have never laid eyes on you. It could be the first time I laid eyes on you. How
Yes.
can you love me? I see the God in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because just to look at it, the Most High love you, but you never saw Him.
That's exactly right. Absolutely.
You never saw the Most High, right? Even when you go into the Bible, the Most High talking about Moses, and Moses said, "Yo, I want to, he want to see the Most High." The Most High said, "Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest, bro. If I show you who I am, you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I show you me, you can't take it. You're gonna perish. You know what I'm saying?" So Most High said, "You know what, man? I'm gonna let you know that I care about you. So I'm gonna show you my back, right?" And he showed Moses his back, and Moses' hair and everything all went white and everything, right? He changed over instantly, right? So if the Most High back could change you like that, imagine what his front would do to you, right? So that's a testament to us as people that if I can show you my back and still bless you. Like the Most High bless most by just showing him his back. But if I show you my front, you know what I'm saying? If I show you, you know what I'm saying, who I really am, I can really bring life to you. Right? Like Alonzo Hall, I know Alonzo Hall for years. He said he stumbled upon this at the perfect moment. You know, he been in the churches with me. You know, we've been there in those dark places and try to make sense of this life and this humanity that we have been bestowed upon us as a gift. Not one of us went into the factory, created ourselves, and then birthed ourselves, right? Right? So we have to actually start understanding that this is a gift, not just towards us, but for all humanity that we connect with, because there are trillions of people in the world, zillions of people in the world. And to be honest, we're not going to see all the people that's in the light. We might go on social media and see people, and that's probably the extent of all the people we're going to see in the world. We go on social media. But we can't travel through the whole world and meet everybody. We might go to Italy and some people don't even come outside. So we're not going to meet those people that's inside, right? We might go to Jamaica. Some people are like, they're in the mountains somewhere. You're not going to see them. So we have to understand that we connect with one another to empower the lives of one another. Yes. So we can continue on this journey of life that's been given to us, not on this plane. I always say it to Gene, not on this plane, but also on other planes that have been set up for our lives when we go through the tests that we go through and we accomplish the purposes that we accomplish. I was at a memorial service the other day for a friend of mine that passed away in Rikers Island, and I was just so moved, you know what I'm saying, by the Imam and what he was speaking about, you know, and he was just speaking about, you know, life, man, and treating each other with compassion, you know, building each other up, man, and preserving the gifts that the Most High has given us to preserve, which is life itself. Not your bank account, not your materialisms, not your belief systems, your values, because all those things change. But life is the only thing that is constant. It's always around us. The birds, the trees, the insects. In itself, all these things are life. Yes. And when we move into life, we can see what life has for us. And my friend, he had 4 children. I was never going to see him again. He lost his life unnecessarily. Yes. Right? By beings that was there to protect him, because the Most High put them there to protect life. And instead of protecting life, they destroyed it. Right? And that hurt me to the heart, because I said that I felt this young man. I worked with this man for over 2 years, that I felt him, that I have a part of his demise, you know, and I teared up, you know, and I suffered, you know what I'm saying, for him at that moment, because it allowed me to see my life again in real time and say, listen, man, am I doing enough? And if I'm not doing enough, I have to do way more than what I'm doing, because I want the Most High to do more of my life. So I have to do with honor and do more in the lives of other people as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
yes.
When you get that mission, when you get that passion, when you feel that deep down on the inside of you, you unstoppable. You literally, you are unstoppable. And that's, I believe that is the place that we all need to be. Because when you talked about touching someone in your world, yeah, you're absolutely correct. We won't touch the whole world, but each one can teach one and each one can touch one. What we're doing today, someone's going to hear it and they're going to talk about it. And although the person they talk to it about it is not here, the seed was sown. And that person will talk about it. And that's how it happens. That's how people are touched.
Yes.
That's how people's lives are changed. Because you endeavor to talk about what most won't talk about. You endeavor to love the unlovable. You endeavor to do right when right doesn't feel right. You endeavor to do what you can do whenever you can do it, as much of it you can do. That's when a person's life is changed.
Yes.
That's change.
That's it. And whenever I do an act of kindness, and I always strive to say, just pass it on.
Yeah.
You know, you don't somebody say, well, let me pay you for this or let me pay. No, pass this on. The next person that you see that is in need and you're in a position to help that person, it could be just a smile.
Yeah.
Sometimes all somebody need is just a smile. It
Yes.
could be money, it could be a material thing, it might be just a kind word, as Nathaniel was saying. It could be just a kind word, but pass it on. When you are in that position, my father would say, see, my mother and father were great. They had some really wonderful
Yes.
sayings.
Yes.
My father would say, if you do a favor for someone and they pay you, you have not actually done them a favor.
That's right.
They hired you. They hired you. So whenever you are doing a favor or you're doing a kindness for someone, don't look for money. Don't look for them to give you something. Pass it on. You
Right.
know, I love you. Pass this love on.
Yes. You
Pass
know,
it.
it is so funny because I'm sitting here, I'm smiling. When I first, if you couldn't tell, I'm from North Carolina. That's where my
Oh,
accent
that's where I'm
from.
in Charlotte. Charlotte,
Oh,
North.
wonderful, awesome! I got family in Charlotte, but I'm North Carolina born and bred. You know, our joke is North Carolina born and bred, and when I die, I'll be North Carolina dead. You know, that's one of the things we say about North Carolina. But I'm from North Carolina, but I'm here in Maryland now. And you know, of course, in North Carolina, we wave at people for no reason. Hey, how you doing? We talk to people just standing in line with them. You know, you doing all right? Yeah. We that's the way we do. You know, because it's about connecting with people. So when I moved up here to Maryland, the hardest thing for me was I would go to work and I would say good morning, and they'd be like, "You gonna speak to everybody?" And I would be like, "Yes." And they would say, "It's too early in the morning, Miss McCotter." And I was like, "Early in the morning?" And I would wait to eat. Good morning, good evening. Are you gonna do this every day? And I would go in the dorms. When I first started up here, I had to start back as an officer. I would say, "Good morning, fellas. How you doing? Pull your pants up. You doing all right? All right? All right?" And they were like, "Why are you so happy? Why do you come in the dorm smiling? Why do you treat us like we?" I said, "Well, how am I supposed to treat you?" And I would say, "I'm gonna get with you, hold on." And I would go over and I would clean my desk and I would sweep the floor. "No, Miss Mac, we'll do it." "No, sir, you won't. I'll do it." And I got to doing that to the place that the guys would come and say, "Miss Mac, we're gonna clean too." Because I wanted them to understand you're no different from me. Your uniform is, but you're not different from me. I can pick up a broom and sweep too. Just like if I ask you to pick up one, I can do it too. And I said all of that to say this right here. People watch your life. People watch what you do and what you say. They match your words with your actions. And when you say you are a person of love, they may never say anything. They could be the meanest, cruelest, most prejudiced, biased, whatever behind dot kind of person you want to meet. But if you're consistently who you say you are, their life is going to change just because you're in their presence. I'm a witness. I never stopped speaking when I would go in, "Good morning, how you doing?" and never turned around to see if someone would speak. I go in smiling. "How you doing? You doing all right? All right, all right." And although they may want it to hate and they didn't like it, they respect it because I never changed. Because this is who I am. This is what I do. And I watch people's lives change because I never once deviated off of the road of who I am. And that's all you have to do. And that's all you have to be is who you are. If you're love, display love. If you're kindness, display kindness. Because one thing about it, one for certain and two for sure, somebody is always watching, whether they ever come to you and say, "You know what? You changed me." You better believe somebody's watching and they're going to change because of you. even if they don't come and pat you on the back. But their life's going to change and somebody else's life is going to change because you endeavor to be who you are.
Awesome. I couldn't have said no better than myself. That was great. Right. So, we are winding down, but I did want to do something a little different. I actually just, each one of us touch on what is the gift of life, and then Jeannie will take us into, our meditation. So I'll start with you, Tammy, Dr. Tammy.
The gift of life to me is love. It is a free gift, but it is the most undiscovered gift because there's life in the blood, which flows through our bodies. It gives us life from our heart. It strengthens our muscles. It causes us to be able to think with clarity. And if we embrace that love, it costs us nothing. It's free. It was freely given. And if we would just endeavor, get out of our own way to receive it and then give it to someone else, we like people when we love them, not because of what they are and what they can give us, because most of the time that's what we equate love as. We equate love as what can they do for me? What have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
Or we equate love with sex, a feeling. That's not love. The real meaning of love is unconditional. We have to take the boundaries off of it. That's how we can love the unlovable. That's how we can see in the muck and the mire that that person still got some good in them and it can be cultivated. That's how we're able to not give up on people. That's how we're not able to give up on ourselves. That's what the gift of life is for me. It's love. Something that was freely given to me, I can give, even to the person that looks me in my face and hates me because of the color of my skin. I might not like what they do, but I can still love them. Is it
Awesome.
easy? Absolutely not. But I can do it because it's a gift. And whether you receive that gift from me or not, that's your choice. But I can still give it. And that's what causes me to be free. That's that life in me. It flows freely. That's what it means to me.
Awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. And all I can say, Dr. Tammy, is I second that emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I definitely agree with that, 100%. I just want to say that we look a lot outside of ourselves to find life, to find love, to find liberation. But all these things that we're searching for is actually within us. It's a part of us. We are the gift of life. There's nothing else. There's nothing that somebody can create to give to you that's going to make your life greater. You know, there's nothing that somebody's going to say to you or do for you that's going to make your life greater if you don't see the greatness of your own life. And that's
Absolutely.
it. That's all I have to say.
All right. It's time to go into that space of peace and just enjoy the breath, the breathing. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. We are thankful for this breath of life. We're going to relax and enjoy just breathing. Relax the top of your head. Feel the top of your head relaxing. Move down to your forehead. Relax your forehead. Breathing deep and letting it out slowly. Move down to your neck. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Relax your arms. Moving down your arms through your hands. Relax your fingers. Relax your fingers. Move down your body through your legs. Relax. 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 Relax your toes. Relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. When I count backwards from 5, we're going to take a deep breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Open your eyes and breathe. Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Awesome.